Hey, I'm Rudy Oliva, and today we're going to be cooking up some chicken thighs on my Weber Kettle grill. I like using the Weber Kettle to do my chicken thighs because I like to smoke them a little bit, indirect heat, and then after about an hour in, I like putting them directly over the coals to get a nice crispy skin. I think that that's one of the biggest challenges whenever you're making chicken thighs on the smoking chicken thighs, is to get that crispy skin that everybody's after. So I pretty much have a method that that gets me there every time. To start off with, these chicken thighs tend to have a lot of extra skin hanging around, so especially the skin that folds under the bottom, I like to trim that off. It's just a little more than what I like. This extra fat here, I trim all this extra fat off on the bottom. I just leave the fat that's on the top. That's it. So here you can see the one that folds on the bottom, I pull it out and trim it off. I'm just making a few here for the family, my wife and my daughter. This is my wife's favorite thing that I make on the grill. And that should do it. Now, as far as seasoning goes, when it comes to chicken, salt and pepper is fine. However, my favorite is Creole Seasoning. Take my Creole Seasoning and I put a nice light coat on each side. It's kind of spicy, so you don't want, and it's pretty salty, so you don't want to go too heavy with it. Just get a nice little coat on there. Flip them over. Same thing on the other side. Oop, a little too heavy on that one. And that'll do it. Alright, let's go get the grill ready to fire it up. Alright, so to light up the grill, I have this grill basket that I love using, and I use lump hardwood charcoal. I don't like using briquettes. Briquettes tend to be, in my opinion, more for beginners. They're basically, if you're not familiar with it, you know, briquettes, it's a lot of sawdust compacted together, and what it does is it creates a lot of ash. The point of that is to keep the temperatures low, so that, and it lasts for a longer period of time. So if you're a beginner at grilling, it's much easier to use. Lump charcoal tends to not cook as evenly. It burns hotter, and I think it actually burns out quicker. But I think you get a better product in the end. So the way that I light my fire for these, you don't want to get it too hot because again, we're smoking this. So I just put a fire starter at the bottom, a tumbleweed, and I just put a few in there, I fill it up maybe about a quarter of the way. Hey Natalie, you coming to help your dad? Uh-huh. Natalie, does Daddy make good chicken? Yeah? Alright, so I got it about a quarter of the way full. I'm going to light my tumbleweed.
Tumbleweed? I think it's a tumbleweed.
Tumbleweed is what Daddy uses to make the fire, Mama. Alright, so just so you have an idea, that's about how much I filled it up. We're going to give it about 10 minutes for these to get nice and hot, and then we'll be back. Alright, so my coals are nice and hot. We're ready to go ahead and throw our chicken on there and also our wood. Now, we're going to put our chicken skin side down. The reason that I put it skin side down is that I want that smoke to go over the meat side, basically the bottom, and give it a nice color. If we put it skin side up, we're not going to get that, and then I'm going to have to end up cooking it on both sides even more. So again, skin side down, and obviously opposite the side that I have my charcoal on. So now that I got them on there, I want to put the lid where my opening is on the side where the chicken is, and my thermometer ends up being over the charcoal. Now, don't freak out if your temperatures get really high on here, because obviously, you know, it's directly over the charcoal, so it's going to give a higher reading than what's over here on the chicken. As long as you're not at something ridiculously high, like 450, 500 degrees or something like that, you're gonna be fine. If for whatever reason you are way too high, just open the lid. Oh, and I almost forgot. A couple small chunks of hickory. You don't want to put something too big because then it's going to smoke too much and your food's going to have a crappy flavor. So I just have 2 small chunks of hickory that I'm going to throw on there, and that's going to give it plenty of flavor. So in about an hour, I'm going to check the temperature on this, and we should be ready to go. Okay, so we're about an hour in now, and as you can see, the color's looking really, really nice. Check these temperatures. All right, right where we need to be, because now when I sear that skin right over the coals, it's going to bring me up the rest of the way that I need. And just also, I did have to put 1 small piece of hickory and a little bit of more charcoal about halfway through. And just now I put some more charcoal because I want to bring that temperature up so that I can sear that skin now. And we'll get to that in just a few minutes as soon as these coals get nice and hot. All right, now, in order to crisp that skin, we're going to take our chicken, we're going to bring it over the top of these charcoals. You hear that sizzle, and in a second, that fat's going to start dripping on top. Now you got to be careful when it starts flaming up. You got to kind of move them around. You don't want to char that skin, you just want it to be crispy. And I'm going to move them around as we go. Now, if I was making a lot more chicken than this, what I would have done, I would have taken my chimney and I would have had just more charcoal going, and I would have spread around the whole grill. So that way I could, you know, get more chickens on there. But since it's just a few, then this is plenty. Oh, there we go. Got to watch these flare-ups. Now as I'm doing this, I will also flip it on the meat side, just to give that a little bit more color too if it needs it. And that also helps control the flare-ups. So it'll stop that fat from dripping for at least, you know, a few seconds, let the flames go back down. All right, now once you see that the skin starts shrinking up and bubbling, that means that it is ready to pull off. Finishing up this last piece here, and we should be all set to go. Okay, so here's the finished product, and here are my taste testers. Go ahead, babe.
Like it more?
Is it good?
I love it.
How's that skin? Good?
Yes. So crispy.
Oh my god, that's so good. All right.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you.
All right, let's cut one open. Look at that. Nice and juicy, cooked all the way through. That is exactly what we're looking for. Well, there you have it. That's how I make smoked chicken on my Weber Kettle Grill. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, just please leave them in the comments. Thank you.